Hey everyone, I'm on the Xbox Series X and I want to show you how to configure your controller. So there's a few things you can do. You can change which buttons map where, you can turn off the vibration of the controller and many other things. To do this, click your Light Up X logo on your controller and you'll come to this screen here and you want to go down to Xbox Accessories. Press A and then when you're here you get the option to configure your controller. Now here I'm using the standard Xbox wireless controller. This is the Xbox Series X version, so it has one extra button compared to an Xbox One controller. So it's very similar. The interface should be very, very similar, but you'll have one less button. So to configure it, all we need to do is press A, and this comes to this page here. So you should have, if you've not messed with this before, just default here. And this one you can't do anything with. You can see I've got no options to change anything when I'm over here. So if you've got no other profiles, the default one will show in this slot. So we need to create a new profile to remap our controller and change things about it. So press A on new profile, and then you can give it a name. So I'm just going to call it test, but you could just leave it as profile 1 if you want. And you can create multiple profiles, but on the standard controller, only one can be active at any one point because there's no option to flip between different profiles. So let's have a little look what we can change here. Some big things that are very useful. If you find vibration very annoying on your controller, you can turn it off. So down here we have this little tick box, and if you press A on there, this controller will no longer vibrate when you're in game. So that can be quite useful on certain games, or if it just annoys you all the time. The other thing you can do is swap your triggers around. So your right trigger, your left trigger, you can click this and they will be swapped, and you'll get this little highlight showing what's happened. So now left trigger is right trigger is left trigger. I'll just turn that off for the minute. Another one you might want to do is invert your left stick y-axis. So if you're doing games like flying games, you don't want to keep remapping them in every game that you go to, you can override them here, so that will always be up and down, or either the left stick or the right stick. So I could say invert my left stick y-axis. So I've done two changes here, neither of which are kind of button remaps, they're just sort of swapping certain things around. I can also swap my sticks around, so if you find the left stick and the right stick sort of way round a little bit confusing and you want your left hand to be using the camera pan and the right, there you can swap those around. So this one, it says this will swap the stick movement only. To edit the stick clicks, remap those assignments manually, which I'll show you how to do. So it's saying the sticks are now swapped, but you may or may not know that if you hit the top of these sticks, you have a button. So you have the left stick button, the right stick button when you press on top. So if you need to change those as well, you can go up here and then select here and then go down until you find the button that you're after. So left stick click, so I can select that one, and then we'll move to the second box and move to right stick click. So I'm hitting A to select these, and then you can see we've got this little diagram has been updated, so it's done that. Just to double check, we can then have a little look at the right stick click, but it's quite intelligent there. Also remap that automatically to be left stick click, so it's quite useful there. The other thing you can do here is if you hold down a button, if it's possible to remap it, it will show you. The only buttons you cannot remap are right trigger and left trigger, aside from being able to swap them around. But if I held down something like, say, Y, it'll say, well, what do you want Y to be mapped to? If you don't want to map it, if you made a mistake, just hit. You can come out of here, so you can just say, hit to B, and that's swap that around. I didn't want to do that, so I'm just going to say B, reassign to B. But the little drop down thing here is easy enough to go through all of these here and then B to come out. If you make a mistake and you want to get rid of all of this, you can simply hit restore to default and then it will remove all these adjustments. But let's say we're happy with everything here. So we've swapped the sticks around and we turned off vibration. So let's say that's all we want to do. Hit B to come out, and then you can see that we've still got default there and test here. And if we want to chuck this in as our slot, all we need to do is move over to test, move to the left and change the slot. So we can go to slot 1 here. So we've got test here. Now there are some other useful options here that we've got. So what I need to remember is I've moved my sticks around. So now my right stick is what I need to use to navigate around. So we can see here, there's this option here. This is to jump into that configuration page. This one renames our controller profile. So if we don't like the word test, we could change it to something else here. So I press A and I could override it here, or B to come out. You can bin the profile here, and then your default one will come back into the slot. Or you can copy the profile. So if you think I kind of like this, but I want to do some other changes, hit duplicate and it'll say what you want to call it. So let's call this one test 2. Oh man, it's I forgot I've inverted the up and down as well, which is really confusing me. There we go. A profile. What did I do? I must have called it something else. Test. I think I forgot the 2. This is so weird. Up. Oh my gosh. Why? There we go. And then we'll hit the menu button. So here is my test 2, and I could say, do you know what, on this one, I don't want those sticks swapped, and I don't want the... In fact, I'm just going to restore to default, but I'm going to say I just want vibration off. So when you've done that, you then come out of it here, and now bear in mind that we're still, you can still see that I'm still on test here, but if I want to assign test 2 here, I select test 2, press it, go to slot 1, job done. And now, thank goodness, I'm on the standard one. So that's something just to bear in mind. That's how you flick between them. That's it, my friends. I hope that was useful to you. If it was, give us a big fat thumbs up, please. That's much appreciated. Any comments welcome. We're going to be adding all sorts of Xbox tips over the next few weeks while it's quiet on games release. I also cover many other games on my channel though, like Elden Ring, FIFA 22 and many other ones. So if you're interested in tutorials on those or gameplay, hit that subscribe button. You'll be kept up to date with my latest and greatest. Thanks so much.